Alright, check this thing out. I got this thing for $1,100. Unheard of price. So this is a 2005 YFZ450. Typically these machines go from anywhere between $3,000 and $4,000 on Marketplace, even higher sometimes depending on condition and aftermarket parts on this thing. But this thing is actually pretty nice. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10 for appearance. So you can see it's pretty clean. It's got newer plastics on it. I think they're updated plastics from like a 2008. And it's got a couple aftermarket parts. We'll go over the whole quad here in a second, but I just want to tell you guys the little story behind how I got it for $1,100. So this thing was up for $2,500 on Facebook Marketplace, and I messaged the guy saying, you know, I'll buy it for $1,500 today. And he said, no, you know, maybe I'll think about it. And like a week later, it was still up there. So I said, $1,500 to come today. And he said, you know, I might take 15. So later that day, he texted me and he's like, yep, come get it for 15. So I was like, okay, you know, what's wrong with it? And he said, basically, all that's wrong with it is that it doesn't shift into second, third, or fourth gear. First gear and fifth gear work perfect, but second, third, and fourth are out. So I'm like, okay, that's still worth $1,500. I'll just split the case or even take off the side cover and see if I can fix the shifting linkage. And I got there and it would not start. So I was like, okay, well, you know, since it doesn't start, I don't know it runs, I'll give you $1,000. And he countered to 12 and then I countered back to 11. So I got this thing for $1,100. I probably stayed there about an hour trying to get this thing to run. I really don't like buying stuff that I don't know the history behind. He did show me a video of it running like a couple months ago. So, you know, whatever that's worth. But he said, basically he got it and he said he was riding it. The chain came off, made a big hole in the case. So he did a full teardown on this thing and then replaced the cases. He said he replaced both of them. So he said maybe he rebuilt something in the transmission wrong or put it back together wrong or something. And he said he did not want to do that again. So he's like, I'm just going to sell it cheap. But he said it did run good. It did start up good. And he said he rode it the day before I picked it up down the road in first gear. And he said it was running fine. So, you know, whatever that's worth. I don't know if the guy's telling the truth. He seemed like a nice guy, but they all seem nice when they're trying to sell you something. But anyway, when I was there, I could see that when you hook up the positive to the battery, you can see how it's sparking. That's not supposed to spark like that. So I'm thinking that somewhere in the system, there's a wire grounding out the frame. So I think there's a positive going to the frame and it's leaking voltage to the frame, allowing the quad not to start. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And the neutral light's super dim when you hook this thing up. I'll show you guys here quick. Look how dim that light is. And then when you hit the start button, let's see. Oh, it starts a little bit. Huh. You can hear it turn over a little bit. So maybe the battery's just really dead. One of the two. It's either got a ground on the frame that's bad, or the battery's just super dead. So let's see if we can get this thing started first, and then we'll work on the shifting issue. But I'm guessing this is some type of wiring problem that we have to chase. So let's just take a look at the air filter too. I didn't do that when I was there. Let's see if the air filter's in here. I really was worried about it running. Yeah, the air filter's in there. That's good. But yeah, the guy rebuilt it, put the new case half on, and then it wouldn't shift. So that must have really sucked. Check the oil here quick too, just to make sure it's got oil in it. If we do start it up. Just the tip of it's got oil, you can see. So not much oil in there. Huh. I wonder if one of the return lines is clogged or something. But anyway, let's start digging into it and see if we can get this thing to run. Quick go over the aftermarket parts on the quad. It has Douglas wheels in the back. Pretty nice in the back. Slingshot tires. Let's see, it's got Sedona tire. pretty nice. Front are just normal. You can see Yamaha right there. It has Tusk Nerf bars. Pretty nice. And then it's got the aftermarket Yoshimura. I think that's how you pronounce it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I keep on getting the name of this thing wrong. I think it's Yoshimura. But these are really nice pipes. So that's probably like a $300 pipe right there. Yeah, the gold chain on it. Pretty sweet. And I think it's got the front bumpers aftermarket. I'm not really sure what the brand is. Pro taper bars as well. And then newer grips. A Pro Taper lever. I don't know the brand of that thing. The case saver right there says Alpha Rider, I believe. Just a cheap aluminum one. We might have to upgrade that. But yeah, that's the aftermarket parts. Alright, so I was touching the wire right here to the positive. It's disconnected from the battery. So let's just try to do that and see if it turns over. We could hear it kind of turning over, so let's just make sure that that was turning over. Then we'll probably hook up some jumpers to it and see if we can start it up. Just see here. Yeah, you can see it's just not enough power. Let's see if we can get some jumpers on this thing. The batteries, I think, clapped out at this point. Alright. There's no way that battery ever started this. That thing's tiny. Alright, let's get the trickle charger on that while we wait. Alright, looks like the battery is still charging. If it was bad, it would be blinking red. So we'll let that sit for a bit. See if that charges up, but in the meantime, see if we can hook up some jumpers to this thing and crank her over. Not to hit the frame. Alright, the light's on. Let's see here. There's no way. Oh, yeah, baby. Alright, this might actually start up here. Oh, okay. Well, it starts. That was pretty crazy. I was not expecting that. So when I got there, it wouldn't start. So for some reason, now I got back home, put the jumper pack on it, and it started right up. It actually sounds pretty good. The oil was low, so I don't want to run it too long. But man, that's pretty awesome. That is pretty sweet. Oh man. Let's just see if there's coolant in it and stuff. I did see some coolant on the ground when I was over there, so hopefully there's still coolant in it. That baby's topped off. You guys can see it in there. Well, that's a good sign. All right, let's check the oil again. Oh, yeah, there's some oil in there now. Goes all the way up to this line. Haha. That is sweet. Yep, definitely oil in it, about halfway. So maybe we just have to wait a little bit for it to come all the way back, but it's definitely circulating, because before there was maybe just to the tip right here of oil in there. So that's a good sign. I think what we're gonna do is let this thing run for a bit and see if any leaks come up or any noises or anything like that before we start digging into it. Sounds pretty good. Oop. Looks like it needs to choke a little bit longer. It is pretty cold out. Alright, it runs pretty good with the choke on, so it's almost like it's not getting fuel. Let's see here. Looks like it's getting fuel. Let's see, turn it to reserve. Good gas flow. I can turn it off now. Alright, so we've got good gas flow going to it. He did say it might be a big bore in here, so maybe the jetting needs to be played with a little bit. Maybe a bigger pilot, and maybe a bigger main. It looks like this thing got hot at one point and melted the wiring, because the guy did say that his friend replaced a wiring harness, so I wonder if they just never fixed that. That's the brake light wire. Alright, we got the gas tank off. All the wiring and everything looks to be hooked up properly. I just did it once over, and all the coolant lines and fan line, everything looks to be properly placed. So actually, it looks pretty good. This wire needs to go up here. You can see it goes on the carburetor right there. But everything else looks pretty good. Then I found the plug-in for the brake light. Looks like it's right there. And there's the other thing. So we're gonna have to snip these off and make different connections, because that one's toast. So it looks like this thing melted pretty good at one point. I think what we're gonna do now is drain the oil and take a look at the clutch side and see if we can figure out the shifting problem, because maybe it's something underneath the clutch. Hopefully, otherwise we have to do a full teardown, which isn't going to be super fun. You can see the oil drain bolt is right there. See how much oil was in there. Does it look milky to you? Kind of hard to tell. Looks a little bit milky, but maybe that's just the coloring of the oil. You know what, we're just gonna drain the tank as well. Otherwise we're gonna have to wait for it to drain. I have the oil line going to the engine. Plus I wanna kinda see what the oil looks like in there. Looks the same. Pretty clear, looks pretty new. We'll let that drain out and then work on the clutch. I'm not seeing any metal chunks in here, so that's a good sign. I kind of feel like it's not the transmission, because it was shifting perfectly before he redid the bottom end. So, you know, if it was the transmission, it'd probably be grinding pretty bad. So hopefully it's just like the shift mechanism underneath the clutch. All right, we've got the oil filter right here. Let's take a look and see what's underneath there. That's gonna be stripped out, great. Fantastic. Oh, there we go. I just wanna see if there's any metal shavings in the filter. Doesn't look like anything so far. No metal shavings in there. Looks like a newer filter. Doesn't look like any metal shavings. What the heck is going on with that shifting? Nothing must be grinding. Oh, there's a couple flakes right there. You can see a couple. Look at the metallic right there on the end of that. A couple sparkly things, but that's just probably from the rebuild. I mean, that's like nothing. All right, we gotta take off the oil line right here. Let's see if we can get to that. See if we can go underneath. There's little O-rings underneath there we don't want to drop in. Oh, that's on there. Holy cow. Breaker loose. All right, let's take a look underneath the clutch cover right here. Clutch looks good. Not beat up at all. You can see YFZ450. Huh. It's got a different clutch in it. Hinson clutch. That's awesome. That is pretty sweet. Alright, let's drain the coolant. There we go. Alright, it's gonna shoot out right here once we undo the cap here. That's working pretty well. And then we've got the funnel going right into the container. Alright, we gotta get the header pipe off. Alright, looks like everything's almost off. So we can start getting some of these bolts out. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing off now. I would think. There we go. Should have probably used a gasket for the clutch side cover. Lock washer right here. That's supposed to be folded over so that nut doesn't move. But yeah, so that's good that we're checking this. If that nut came off, that'd be really, really bad. That's a 30mm nut on here. So let's see if we can get that off of here. It's on there pretty tight. She was on there pretty good. All this stuff. That's weird. That's not coming off. Alright, so it looks like everything with the shifting mechanism is fine. No metal shavings at all in here. And you can see everything spins smoothly. Nothing's bound up or anything. The pump spins. So I'll try shifting in the gear here and we'll show you what it does. It's almost like the shifting drum is in the wrong spot. But here we go. So we'll shift down into first. So there's first right there, you can see it locks up. And then we'll shift up into neutral. There's neutral, or there's, I think that's second now. Third, see it just spins. Fourth. Then fifth, it grabs. But it doesn't feel like it's grinding or anything, which is weird. So either he messed up the transmission putting that back together, or like the shift drum is in the wrong spot, or something's going on. There's first again. It's kind of hard to get into first. There's first. There's neutral. See, it doesn't grab at all. So something's definitely not right with it. Alright, so I got the shifting mechanism off. Basically what this looks like. These pins just go in here like that, and then it twists around. So I manually twisted the shift drum right there, and does the same thing. It just is not catching those gears, but it is twisting, because I was thinking maybe the shifting wasn't twisting the shift drum, but it's twisting for sure. So it's definitely internal. Something's going on. I think he probably put the gears together wrong, is what I'm guessing, or forgot like a washer in between a gear or something, or put the wrong gears back in. I'm not sure, but something's definitely wrong internally. So we're going to unfortunately have to split the cases. So let's I guess begin tearing this thing down. All right, we got everything disconnected from the engine. All we have left is the chain and the engine bolts. So let's start tearing down the top end and start disassembling this thing. Timing chain's nice and tight. That's good. Gotta be careful. The pin's right there. Right, let's get these cams out of here. Exhaust cam. One with the mechanism. Decompression. Intake cam coming out. The timing chain feels pretty stiff here. Look at that. It's like all bound up. I think we're gonna replace the timing chain. Weren't tightened down too much. Wonder if those weren't torqued correctly. Felt pretty loose. Alright, let's get this head off of here. See what this piston looks like. Alright, that's off of there. Alright, piston doesn't look too bad. Let's see, where's the marking for this thing? Should be like a dot or something. I don't see a marking, but the 3 valves are up here, so it can only really go in one way. But yeah, let's get off the cylinder next. Alright, the valve guide towards the exhaust side was broken right here, so good thing we checked that. And the timing chain, look at this, just super stiff. So we're gonna get a new timing chain for it too. That is not how it's supposed to be. Let's see what's going on with the piston here. Supposedly this is a big bore, so we'll see. Cylinder looks good. Crank feels nice and tight. Cool. Alright, that looks really good in there. Alright, so I measured the piston to be 97.88 millimeters, which is technically 98. And the stock bore for these is 95 millimeters. So it's definitely either a big bore kit or somebody bored it out to be 98 millimeters. But yeah, I'm looking for a marking on the cylinder here for a big bore kit. Doesn't look like it has one. Oh, there's something right there, stamped into the side right there. Huh. It says A something something. That might be a stock marking though. But yeah, cylinder looks really good. No scratches on the cylinder. That looks perfect, and then the piston looks perfect. So I think we're all good there. You can see the piston says CP down there. MX96. I don't know, it doesn't have any markings on the top. So that's the progress we made so far. Next video we will get this engine out of the frame and then tear it down and see what the damage is. But at least we know it runs, at least we know all the parts in it are good, the crank is good, starter is good, cylinder and piston are good, so most of the machine is good so far. Transmissions are about 130 bucks on mine for a brand new one, so even if the transmission's junk, we can get a new one for 130 bucks. It's still a mystery as to what is going on. We took apart the clutch side and couldn't find anything over on that side that was wrong with it, so it's gotta be internal. And write your guesses down below, because next video we will find out. And guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video. And until next time, we are out.